Today we're going to talk about why you should probably, in most cases, think about choosing an OLED TV. So there is a reason why OLED tends to be our best-selling TV, and I want to go over all the superlatives that it offers. So before we get into the weeds here, don't forget to subscribe to the Gramophone channel. Now, why OLED? Currently, OLED is the only available technology that is what we would call self-emissive, meaning that every single pixel in this panel, all 8.3 million of them, because this is a 4K TV, makes its own light. It does not require an external backlight to push the brightness of this TV. A panel that is self-emissive is pretty much guaranteed to have perfect or close enough to perfect black levels. Now look at the aspect bars on the top and bottom. What do you see? They're like pitch perfect black. And that's because this portion of the TV is just completely cut off, making no light whatsoever, giving you a nearly perfect contrast ratio. This also really helps with color reproduction because colors are often a function of brightness and contrast as well. You want more color depth, you need more brightness, and you need to better differentiate it from the other colors on the screen. And again, the self-emissive is just really, really good at doing that. The other great thing about OLEDs is that these are incredibly fast, responsive panels. And for those of you who play games, it's absolutely going to matter because chasing lower input lag and faster response times pixel to pixel, that's exactly what we want. And OLED is currently one of, if not the fastest technology for doing so. The other great thing about OLED is that it has some of the best viewing angles in the entire TV category. You can get wildly off axis and everything still looks very even and colors don't really shift all that much, if at all. So you can have a lot of people in the living room looking at that TV, some maybe at not so great angles, but all things considered, it's still gonna look really good. They tend to be a little bit lighter weight, so actually muscling these up onto your wall to get them mounted is a little bit less of a chore. I think back to the day of plasma TVs, which in my opinion was the best looking thing until OLED came out, and they were heavy, big, and made a ton of heat. OLED by contrast is way lighter, makes way less heat, and burns way less energy. And that's another advantage of the self-emissive tech. You're not using any energy where you don't need to. It's already that much better for energy savings. If you're ultimately using a TV for a movie watching experience and you decide not to go with like a projector and a screen for a movie room, this is going to be as good as it gets because OLEDs perform particularly great in darker rooms because of their infinite contrast. And that dark room is going to give it the window it needs to shine best and really be able to display that difference. However, if you have a particularly bright room or your TV is going to be often in the influence of direct sunlight, you probably want to look elsewhere for something that can hit a little bit higher peak brightness to be able to compete with that. And OLEDs tend to have very glossy reflective panels, which make for great color transmission, but again, can be an issue if you're in direct glare. If you do have that issue at home, you probably want to look at mini LED TVs. For example, Sony's X95K, which is one of the first TVs that I've seen to be close to OLED in contrast, but really be able to push in brightness when it needs to. And we also did a video on that TV, so be sure to check it out in the description down below. But again, for most cases, if you're looking for what we generally feel is the best TV for most situations, I'd say go with an OLED. And with each generation of OLED, even where they have a couple weaknesses, they continue to improve. And if it's any further proof to you, they are the best-selling type of TV at Gramophone overall. Have a look at our selection at skybygramophone.com by clicking the link down below. You'll find excellent OLED options from the likes of both Sony and LG. Also, make sure you stop by one of our showroom locations. You'll find us in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg. We have all kinds of TVs on display, including multiple different models of OLEDs, and we'd love to be able to show them to you so that you can see it with your own eyes before you make a purchasing decision. All right, everybody, thanks for stopping by today. Please give this video a like if you felt like you learned something, and drop a comment down below if you have any additional questions. Once again, I appreciate you all being here. Be seeing you.